All, thank you for joining up the session today, and we look forward to your participation. I am Nena, and today we'll be talking about project management. How can you effectively manage your projects with the help of Dynamics 365 Business Central? So I have Shreya with me, who will be leading the session today. So over to you, Shreya. In case you have any question, you can put it on chat, or otherwise, in the end, we have a 10 minutes query session where we can discuss your queries. Thank you.
Hello everyone, Shreya this side. So today we are starting our webinar. That is the first series of Dynamics 365 Business Central. So today's topic will be discussing managing projects with Dynamics 365 Business Central. And today, your presenter, me, is Shreya, and I'm a functional consultant from the experience of past 5 years. And my main focus is on projects and finance. So today we will be discussing our job module and project module in Business Central. So let's start with the agenda of today's discussion. First of all, we'll be discussing, I will be giving an introduction on the Dynamics 365 Business Central. Then we'll be focusing what are the project management functionalities that Business Central offers. Then we will be discussing some industry-based challenges and what are the advantages based on the Business Central that we will be using the job module. Then we will be having a screen time of overviewing the whole job module in Business Central. After that, we'll be discussing some upcoming features in the Wave 1 that Microsoft will be offering in Business Central related to the job module. After that, lastly, we will be having a 10-minute query session. So let's start with our introduction to Dynamics 365 Business Central. As you can see, we have some bulleted points here where service, first of all, we will be discussing that it's a service-oriented architecture. So Business Central, or you can say the Dynamics 365 Business Central, is an end-to-end ERP solution that is provided by Microsoft, and it is highly flexible and customizable as per the business needs of a customer. Then, first of all, we can integrate the Business Central with any third-party applications like Microsoft Office 365, then we have Power BI, or we can do it with any of the third-party application that as per the business requirement. Then we can do automated processes. So for example, we have businesses processes like sales, marketing, then we have our operations, manufacturing, everything can be customized, and it is already introduced in Business Central, then it can result in effective and efficient operations. Moving on, we have intelligent insights. So what happens here? We get them real-time insights to the customers, data, sales, trends, and any other KPI that we can think of, and we can do it in the job module, and we can do it in Business Central. Then cross-platform integrations. So as I said, we can integrate with any third-party application, and like Power BI is there, Office 365 is there, then any other platform. After that, we can also do the general data compliances that we have. Security that Business Central offers is role-based permissions, for example, is there. So user can have role-based permission, as well as we can restrict the users to certain modules as well. Then we have certain industry regulations as well that can also be compiled with Business Central. Moving on, we have our Power Automation and Copilots. These are some upcoming features of Copilot that Microsoft is introducing to us in Wave 1 2024. So that was a little insight of Business Central. Let's move on to our project management insights. So what project management module is offered by Business Central? First of all, we have some resource management. So at the site of our project implementation, we have our resources and how much labor is being used, how much skilled labor is being used, and what are the dedicated time slots given to them, and how much they are actually working on. So this whole resource management can be managed in our project module. Then we have our capacity modules, capacity management, where our items and we have any expenses that can also be budgeted, and we can track our actuals through the project module. Then cost and price management, as I said, that we have our budgets and actuals that can be tracked in the system itself. Then we have our completion. We can manage the project in multiple stages, whether it is in planning stage, whether it is in quotation stage right now, or if we are in completion of it. So we can, job cell life cycle can be managed through this project management module. Then labors, and we have our resources. We can manage their timesheet as well, and any expenses that has been incurred on the project can be recorded in the project module. Then we can do the cost and work breakdown on the basis of item, on the basis of resources, on the basis of labor, on the basis of any expense or income that is incurred against the projects. Then finally, we can do the budgeting at various layers as well in the system. So coming on to the challenges part. So this is not limited to specific industries. We have multiple industries as well, where project manufacturing like construction, NGO, agriculture. Okay, then we have our various industries that faces challenges in the doing the project management through a organization. So for example, in agriculture, we have estimation of project cost. This is overall in every industry that we face, that what is the estimation of our project cost and what are the ROIs that we are getting. Then if we have any budget constraints, how we are going to mitigate that in the project. Then how the proper cash flow management is working. Then the whole documentation and reporting, how we are catering that in the system. Then if any lack of IT support is there in the organization, then how the users can effectively manage the projects on their own. Then in any data analysis done, though on what basis we are getting our project, and what is the completion stage, percentage, everything can be tracked through the project module here. So these are some basic challenges, day-to-day challenges that industries face while doing the project management. Then how we are going to overcome the challenges through the project module in Dynamics 365 Business Central. As you can see, the 66%, as we see the statistics here, what happens is 66% keep their projects within the budgets through the job module. Then 16 times more money can be made save up to here that were not being tracked before using the system. Last but not least, we have 40% organizations have confirmed that they have a positive impact when doing the project cost estimations through the job module of Business Central. Then these are some insight how the job module, or you can say the project management, is done in Business Central. I will be showcasing you through the Business Central ERP now. So I hope my screen is visible, and let's start with the walkthrough of job module in Business Central. First of all, whenever a user logins to Business Central, this is the dashboard that they interact with. Now let me showcase you. As you can see, I am seeing here the task or anything related to jobs particularly. That's because I have defined user role as a project manager. As you can see, my role is project manager. That's why anything related to projects and my job is coming here. So if any upcoming invoices are there regarding any project is there, if my any job is going over budget, it will be displayed here. So I can get quick insights how my jobs are currently being going on in the system, how they are being tracked. So if we can see some uh, graphs or charts are also being depicted here. For each and every job, what will be my actual to budget cost, what is my prices, what is my profitability here. And if we have our Power BI integrated, we can also see some reports related to our projects. So let me just go to the jobs here. As you can see, currently we have the jobs open in the system. So let me showcase you by opening one job. So this particular job that we have taken up is reception area remodeling. So as you can see, for this, which customer we are doing this particular job for, we will be selecting our customer, what are their addresses, if any external document number, this particular means that customer PO number is there. Then who is the person responsible for this particular job, and who is our project manager. Project manager generally reports to the project person responsible here. Then if we are not going to use this particular project, we can block this project as well here. Then if any compliances are there, we can attach, or if any contract is there, we can also do the attachments in our job as well. And if we can see, this is called our fact box, where we see the details here for regarding the job. Like what are the statistics, what is our budgeted cost against resources, items, everything is being depicted here. Then coming on to the second part, we have our task. So certain tasks are defined, how we are going to implement the job, how we are going to do the job regarding the customer. So we have some phases here that we have defined. The job will be done with the consultants and review and sign off. Then we will be demolishing it. Then again, the bricks will be there laid out. Then we'll be installing some things here. So basically, we have break down our job in certain tasks with our dates as well, on which date any task is going to be start and when it is going to be ending here. Next part is the posting parts, where we'll be defining what is the status of this particular job. So there can be multiple stages. We have our planning stage of a job, then we are in the quotation phase right now. If this job is open for postings, and then we have the completed job. Then the posting group is here. Then we have our WIP method, that is WIP method, how we are going to do the track the costing of this particular job. So generally what happens, they do it in completed contract or we do it in percentage of completion. What will be the costing method that we will be allocating and how we are going to price them. Then we have our bill to and ship to details, addresses, who will be billing to and what will be the address of that and who will be shipping to. Then generally what is the duration of this project, what is the starting date and end date. And if this particular project that we are doing relates to the foreign trade, then we can define the currency codes and what will be our invoicing currency code. So this is basically our job card. Now coming on to the lines part here, where we'll be defining our task line, the budgets. So here we have job planning lines. So basically what we do against each and every task, for example, that was there, the consulting part was there, and then we'll be signing off and review is done. Then we'll be demolishing it. So against each and every task, we define certain budget related to a resource. So some consultation is done. So we'll require our help of a resource here. Then any demolishing is done. Then we'll require some tools that will be done and who will be the labor or the skilled labor, the resource that will be doing the demolishing part. So we'll be defining our resource. What is our planning dates here? Then if this is called budget, billable, both budget and billable. So we'll be budgeting it only We'll be billing it only, or we will be budgeting it and then billing it to the customer here. So, for example, we are seeing a resource that is Catherine. So what happens here? We are dedicating Catherine 20 hours for this particular activity. That is our consulting activity. So here we are budgeting Catherine for 20 hours, and then what happens? We are costing it at 50 per hour. Then our total cost is here. Then again, we will be billing the customer at 100 per hour. So our total price that we'll be billing to the customer is 2000 rupees. So that's how we are going to do the budgeting, and how we are going to charge it to the customer. We'll be defining for each and every resource, for each and every item. And if we are going to do any expense on it, the particular project, we can also define it against any GL account as well. And if any text is there just for the information purpose, then we can do the text here as well. So detailed budgeting can also be done against each and every task. So once we have defined our budgeting, what happens is, as you can see, for each individual task, we have defined the budgets. We come back to the main card here, and we can see our budget cost against each and every activity has been allocated here. And as you can see, some lines are in bold. That means what is the total of this phase. So how much budgeting has been done will be displayed as the total of this particular task line. Then once this is done, we'll be billing it, or we can say the booking is done. Now we'll be doing the actual expenses that are being occurred. So for that, what happens is, here we again go back to the job planning lines. We have budgeted the Catherine for 20 hours against this particular project. Now, through the journals, against this project, we will be charging the expense or booking the expense against this resource. For example, they are doing it at 20 and the cost is 50. Now, my charging is price, our costing is indicated as rupees 60. So what will happen here? We'll be charging it, and the actual expenses will be booked. Once it is booked against the project, it will be displayed in this particular column called actuals. Let me showcase you here through a general journal. See, we open our template here. And against this particular project, I will be billing the resource Catherine. So let's move on to the next part of our presentation. So let's discuss that there are some updates that will be coming in Wave 1 2024 for our particular Business Central job module. So for example, what they will be doing now is that instead of the jobs, we will be referring the job as project. So we will be doing the project modules. We will be enhancing our system by calling them projects. Then again, what happens currently in the system, we create a project against a single customer. Now, what will happen that multiple projects and multiple customers can be created here. So, for example, multiple projects are there and we want to invoice it for a single customer. So, we'll be able to do that as well. Then, next point is that multiple projects are there, okay, and customer is there, and multiple customers are there in a single project. So that can also be done in the system here. Then one more feature that is already restricted to the customer purchase and sales. Now what will be happening that once the project is completed, okay, so it gets, we can archive that as well. Or if any changes are done and we want to review what are the changes that are being done in the project, then we can also do the archiving feature here for the projects part. Okay, so that was all for the job module in Business Central. Thank you for your time here. Now we are open to the query session. If you guys have any query, then you can ask them.